Welcome and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kat, your guide through the seen and the unseen. Today we're tapping into the energies to see what messages Spirit has for us. Take a deep breath, settle in, and let's see what the universe is trying to tell you. Also, if you're soul-seeking deeper alignment, make sure to join our community by subscribing. Alright, so first we have the search is over. You have finally realized that everything you ever needed was already woven into your soul's blueprint. So you may no longer be seeking outside of you for what's within. No shadow can withstand the absolute authority of light you carry. Stand tall and let your presence dissolve the darkness. What did you do lately? We're going to clarify these. You don't want a partner, you want a project. You are selecting people you can fix so you never have to turn the spotlight on your own ruins. This could be you or someone else. This could be a past energy or present. This could be mirroring someone else, but mirroring someone else's energy. This could be someone who's tapping into your energy or trying to siphon from you in some way. Yeah, this could also be a projection from someone else. This card shows where you have adopted the voice of your abuser or harshest critic and internalized it as your own intuition. Okay, that makes sense. I think these two cards go together. You are suppressing your prosperity mindset because you've associated wealth or power with corruption, avoiding your own capacity to hold abundance cleanly. This could also be their energy. This card exposes the righteous victim archetype. Where are you keeping score just to justify your own lack of movement? Acknowledgement is needed. And this could be, again, their energy. Could you please go lay down? Go lay down. This card holds an inherent burden, a survival strategy passed down through your bloodline that has mutated into a limitation in your lifetime meant to keep you stagnant. Again, this is their energy or past energy that you had. Your wounds are the exact cracks where the light enters your story, transforming into wisdom you will share with the world. So this is, I feel, current energy. Maybe this is you currently. And this is you acknowledging this, all this other stuff, right? And like, this is the story, and this is the story you're sharing, right? And that's gonna it's like the realization of these things. Anyway, this is the defense mechanism you built to survive the past, but it is suffocating your future. I feel like this has everything to do with this. And then you are choosing a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven because it feels safer. Again, this is how this is all connected. Okay, so maybe you were playing small. Not standing tall in your presence before, and that this realization of these things kind of allowed you to see the cracks and allowed you to kind of awaken. The search is over. You finally realized that everything you ever needed was already woven into your soul's blueprint. And this is the blueprint, right? So it's like awakening to what this was This is like generational curses that kind of brought us to a realization in some way about ourselves and about others and what we attract, because like attracts like. You may have attracted somebody who awakened you to your wounds, you know, and like, oh, like you have to see it to understand. So we got 12 again, 11, 7, 9, Cancer energy, 4th house. So I would say 11th house, 12th house, 9th house, 7th house. 9th house is higher learning. 11th house is groups of people, friends, ambitions, you know. 7th house is relationships, partnerships. I believe it's like enemies that are like open enemies, like 12th house is hidden enemies, spiritual, the spiritual. Did I already say 9th house is like a higher learning? Yeah, I think I said that. Okay, we have Venus, Jupiter, North Node, and Venus again. And we have Cancer, Capricorn, Cancer again, and Gemini. Okay. So Cancer's 4th house, Capricorn's 10th house, Gemini is the 3rd house. So these energies could be significant in your chart. I know Jupiter's doing a thing. I don't know. I think it's in Cancer. I'm not sure. I think it's in Cancer still. Anyway, okay, so let's clarify these cards. Clarify the search is over. You have finally realized that everything you ever needed was already woven into your soul. Actually, how do I want to do this? I think I'm going to just do a spread real quick. Look, what is our state of mind now that we kind of see this? Nine of Wands, the Wounded Warrior. Okay. And the Wheel of Fortune. So, fighting karma. Okay, great. We're stepping into our fate. We've ascended to face our fate. There's a higher perspective here. Hangman, Wheel of Fortune, Hangman, 10 of Cups, and the 5 of Pentacles. So this is dissolving the darkness with a higher perspective. Seeing, you know, this is the darkness, right? We're holding on to our light. You see that little... I don't know if it'll focus. Yeah, okay, there. The little girl's holding something in her hands. And it looks like a light, maybe a candle. Yeah, it looks like a candle. Aww. It's like shielding your light. Shielding your light in this darkness. And then look, these all look like candles, but they're like torches, really. Heads on spikes. And the shadow, so you've awakened to the shadows of things, and you kind of burn that foundation to the ground. I am seeing you're holding on to your inner child here. If you can see, there's like a doll. Let me see. And so this is you holding on to your inner child energy, like that innocence within you, because you've worked through some karmas and changed your perspectives of things. Instead of seeking a partner that you have to fix, you've understood that that is your wounded child energy, right? Where you could play the victim in some aspects, and keep from moving forward and actually growing and evolving in relationships where you pick someone who's actually good for you, right? Maybe there was a fear there about picking someone who was good for you. You didn't know how to, like, kind of, that was foreign, right? Also, you're no longer adopting this inner critic or this the abuser mentality, like where you're abusing yourself in some way, saying that there's a song, Hugs and Kisses, or Hugging and Kissing or something. Like, all you're ever gonna have is what you've already had, and like kind of feeling like there's nothing better. This was a survival strategy passed down through your bloodline that was mutated into a limitation in your lifetime, meant to keep you stagnant. And this is like that spiritual war, basically. So this was meant to push you, right? But a lot of us end up staying stagnant because we don't feel like we can have better. Like, we don't feel good enough. That imposter syndrome thing. Suppressing your prosperity mindset because you've associated wealth or power with, like, corruption or something like that. Yeah, so maybe when you're a kid, you weren't allowed to question authority. You weren't allowed to, have logical reasoning. Like, okay, why are you were supposed to accept, like, things the way that they were and not question the authority, even though you could see through it, and when you did, you would get, like, physically harmed, or maybe there was consequence in some way, so the state of mind is that wounded warrior energy, okay? And that's why you felt safer, kind of. I think from the past, that's kind of why you felt safer choosing this over, like, the healthy. Okay, so the distraction, the red herring. So this becomes your story, is like how you broke through the fear of moving forward and being in this healthier energy. King of Swords, the distraction. I feel like this is King of Swords reverse, not narcissistic energy. Okay. None of these cards are reversed, but I feel like that's the energy from that. So that's the first turn, the distraction, the red herring. Out in the cold energy. This is you protecting your light in some way because of the this is like vampiric. Like choosing to be alone instead of being in a group. King of Wands, Five of Swords, King of Pentacles. So, okay. 3 kings. This could be people that you've dealt with in the past, the abusers that you've dealt with. This Five of Swords energy is like this is Seth and Isis, I believe. After Osiris was killed in the story. So, I believe that's what that is from. Anyway, so the King of Wands energy and the King of Pentacles, the King of Swords, is you kind of stepping into your own... This is like you becoming the emperor. This is like the story of you becoming your own emperor, right? There was things that you had to go through, like tests, right? You have to go through all of the minor arcana and then the major arcanas to get to the king. But you did that in some way. But the distraction was that maybe you were abandoned. There's 2 5s here, which there was a change, right? There was like, so you you had to grow in some ways. And I feel like you were maybe the only one who could do this, obviously for yourself. Like, you have to kind of do this for yourself. Everyone kind of does. But it was like you had to kind of teach yourself these things. And the only one that's missing is the King of Cups, which it took you becoming the King of Cups to do all of this, to master your emotions first, right? And to see, like, to become your own emperor and change the game in some way. Cut off people, leave behind people, like, see that you were alone so that you could kind of depend on yourself. Like, you had to become like the emperor. I mean, and this could also be other people. This could be like the fact that you had to kind of master the physical, the mental, the action, the fire within, like your inspiration to move, and get things started for yourself so that you could kind of clearly move forward and become, what you needed to, right? Like, this is no longer being the victim. You kind of stepped into your own power. But this distraction energy was trying to keep you. So these are the distractions, like the lack of movement, the victim mindset, the other people, like having to, fix other people. Like, there was always drama. There was always some sort of thing that other people were going through that you had to kind of help. But you didn't have to help. This is you realizing that and like kind of, okay, this is a distraction, right? Like the survival strategy was you choosing you over all of these other things. And instead of choosing the corruption with power, like choosing to believe in that mindset, like you had to choose to move out of that mindset and realize that it's taking your power from you, like your own King of Wands energy. And it was a mastery of the mental game. So that's why this is coming out. Like, this is you mastering that mental game of the mind over matter, right? That victim mindset, that mindset of like being stuck and allowing yourself to be stuck. That limitation. You're not limited. And that was kind of this energy that was meant to sabotage you. This could be self-sabotage. This could be, your own, and I say it's self-sabotage, but this could be like generational. Like other family members also sabotage themselves because they saw this in the same way, but they couldn't see a way out of it, right? And I'm not saying that this is easy. I'm not saying that this is a cakewalk. It's definitely not, but anyone can do it because I think that's what we're meant to do. And of course it takes lifetimes. This could have been something that you've worked for lifetimes to get right? And it seems like in this lifetime you're meant to master it. It was meant to suffocate your future. It was meant to keep you stuck. But the search is over. You finally realize this was the distraction, right? Okay. So what is the dead end, the habit, or the pattern? I think we've figured that out. So the Ace of Cups. So I feel like, okay, so the habit, the pattern, so the dead end was you not realizing how powerful you are. It was the Ace of Cups energy that you needed to realize. It was about choosing self over others. And I'm not saying always do that. I'm saying there was a need to, because you were always choosing other people, right? And if that's not your story, this is not your reading, and I'm sure there's other people that could tell you your story. There's a Nat. Good timing, Nat. So we have the Empress here, Magician, the Seven of Wands, the Hermit. Okay, there was a wisdom of choosing self, defending, standing the ground, realizing your power, realizing that you had the tools, you just needed the mindset shift, that wisdom, that self-love. Because the habit, I think, was choosing others over self. It was also love itself. It was love itself because maybe you weren't given a good example. This could be mother energy, but you could be this Empress, right? Oh gosh, that's deep. So growing up, there could be examples of where your safety wasn't chosen over the authority, right? Okay, your safety, I mean, maybe they thought it was fine, because like different people grew up in different times, and different times called for different measures or whatever. People did different things to raise their children. There's been a lot more research done. I'm not saying that this was right or wrong. I'm just saying that this is how it was in the past. Maybe the love wasn't without the darkness, right? So you weren't able to see, maybe, I hope this is recording. Growing up, there could have been a lot of like, don't question me, fear like tactics to keep you in line, you know, very harsh, not loving love, so-called love. So it trained you to kind of like accept this bullshit, right? It trained you to justify this lack of love for being love, right? So I think realizing what is actually love and what isn't, maybe it was a hard realization, right? But no longer being that the victim to other people's lack of understanding of, you know, actual love. It's not that toxic shit, you know, like this. There's no longer space for that in your life. And I feel like that was the pattern or the habit that you had to break. That adopting those mindsets, holding this bloodline type of mutated love, like it was like not being the critic of yourself, instead loving all the parts of you and understanding that you're a human being making human mistakes, you know, like, and that we all are, and so you can't really hate somebody for making mistakes, you know, but that standing your ground and making boundaries for where you're not what are the words? Where you're not actually valued and cherished, or I'm not even saying cherished, like real true love doesn't want to see you suffer. Real true love doesn't want to see you. There's a Bible quote about love, right? Love is not da 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 da. It's all these things, but there's a wisdom there. And that, like, if you have to, you can give it to yourself. You are the magician. And like choosing to be alone instead of being in this toxic environment where you just tolerate whatever's given, you know, because you are this empress, right? So there's a deeper understanding of like what protects your energy. Maybe you're an empath, maybe you have like have to protect your energy in some way. You can't suffer through it anymore, you know. Okay, so what is the thread? So the dead end is like suffering through. This was the dead end. Like this was no longer tolerable for you. I think you had to stand your ground and realize who you are and like protect your energy, because you can't create from a lack mindset. You can't create from all this turmoil, and this was meant to keep you small and stuck and this was not your true path. So you had to figure that out and see what was, it's like, see how powerful you actually were. You know, you can stand alone. You can like receive what is my words. What is truly like meant for you. Okay, what is the thread, the truth, and the core? The Page of Pentacles. So this was all a lesson. This was all something you were sent here to learn. 5 of Swords, King of Coins, Queen of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. You intuitively knew this. This was a soul lesson. So this was a soul lesson made for you to understand what love was, what in the physical you needed to cut off, and then to trust your intuition, like maybe listen to yourself. But there was some sort of, that you're an empath, you know, that you can't tolerate this kind of craziness. And that you're not meant to. But that there was love anyway. And it's choosing love over all. Everything you ever needed was within you, and your soul's blueprint was ready for this lifetime. King of Pentacles. So the turtle is representative of like the house is within. The home is within. That to go within, to take it slow, you know, methodically, understand every movement, but also that you're protected. And see, she has her hand over her cup. It's like protecting your own, you know, Ace of Cups. That was the lesson. That was the truth. That was the core of it. That thread. And that, like, we all needed to do that, maybe is the thing. That the bloodline was mutated into a limitation. That was meant to keep you stagnant. And in this, like, 5 of Swords energy, like, always accepting defeat. Accepting, you know, this lower, like, not the higher self, the lower self, right? Like this bird in a cage, you know, the pretty cage, yeah. Okay. So this is the breakthrough and the wisdom. There was self-mastery needed. So I was getting, so this Phoenix energy, the first turn, right? So this was the second card I pulled, and this was the distraction, the red herring. The first turn was to accept your truth. Your truth that you are here to master yourself. We're all here to master ourselves. That's the 8 of Pentacles, to do this work, to set boundaries, go within, introspect, and become this empress. Create, alchemize, you know, bring harmony. And this is also the prize and the heart center. So in order to awaken this abundant energy, we have to go within our hearts and like clear out all the rubbish, right? The trash, the things that aren't, they're keeping you limited in some way and stagnant. And this is like a test. So I heard something, I don't remember where it came from, but something about we're all here to awaken to ourselves, that like to learn our true power, to like, that's why we do these games of life, like, right? So the game of life is to awaken to your true self, and that's like why we do this over and over and over again, because it's fun. It's meant to be fun, like, because to truly awaken to who you actually are, and like your true power, it's fun to like actualize, self-actualize. Like in some way, it's like the best game in the world, right? And then, or the universe. And so we do this over and over again to kind of, it's a game. And then, so we're constantly being each other, you know, playing each other's roles, and like, so, you know, we can understand, you know, deeper aspects of self. And that's the wisdom, is to choose love over all of the other stuff. And like, that's kind of why we're here. And so, like, if we truly think about it, it's actually a game. And like, some people, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's here, like, I don't think we're here to hurt each other and stuff like that, but that's what ends up happening. So if we're actually true to ourselves and stay within our integrity, we kind of win the game faster. I don't know what happens when you win the game, but like, I've been wondering that. Like, yeah. Okay, what is the integration, the exit? Maybe this will tell us the answer to that question. The Nine of Wands. So the integration. The integration is the winning the exit. Oh. Also finding your flame. Carrying your flame. Oh. Oh. So that's, so okay. So like, if we're going through these games over and over and over again, I think that kind of brings the vibration of the universe, you know, everything's a vibration, right? The energy. So we raise the vibration, like everybody's been talking about that, right? Over time, from this lower state of unconsciousness to enlightenment and consciousness and awareness. So maybe that is the purpose. Like, the exit is to integrate all these higher vibrations to the point of like blast off. I don't know. Like, okay, so 8 of Cups, Judgment, and the Emperor, Knight of Swords. Huh. This is like Big Daddy energy, like awakening to our power, awakening to, oh. This is the exit. 8 of Cups. Like, we're on our way, like this is coming in quick. I don't know. This is deeper than, this is so weird. Why am I getting this? Like, okay, so I think this is literally the exit of the game. There's something here about that. This is the Warrior. And then we start again. Like, something new. Huh. This is quite interesting. Huh. Because what if that is the case? Huh. So, and I've seen other people, like they've gone on these ayahuasca retreats and things like that, where actually this one particular person, Third Eye Drops, I watch him pretty often. He was talking about his experience, and I don't remember what he took or whatever. He was on something, but he said that, like, maybe it was a dream, I don't know. He said, like, first you master this, and then you master the universe, basically. Like, he was explaining something that happened, like it was some hallucination that he had or something, where, like, first we master the earth realm, and then we master the universe, right? And this was like some alien type, I don't know, maybe God power that he was, I don't remember what exactly he said, but anyways, I butchered the shit out of that, but anyways, you kind of get my point. But like what this may be pointing to is that this is the exit, the self-love, this mastering love in this earthly realm, mastering self-love, choosing self, choosing to love over resentment, like those lower vibrations, choosing love over all of that is integrating the lessons and mastering self, right? The lessons here. And then, so once we do that, then we step into our true power, which is that divine masculine energy. And there's something warrior-like about that, that brings in something new. See, so Six of Wands, championing the game, Seven of Swords, that's the strategy, that's the escaping the matrix, escaping, you know, this is, and then you're like kind of building something, right? Mastering this competition energy, becoming the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Swords, I don't know. It's liberation, I mean, liberty. Yeah. And then Six of Swords is behind that. Huh. That is very interesting. I mean, it could be, I don't know. Maybe this is just that is, I don't know. So awakening to your true power is the exit and the integration here. Okay, so let's clarify the Nine of Wands. Let's see, so maybe I should clarify these. No, I'm gonna do this. Clarify the Nine of Wands. The Five of Pentacles, which is what we were getting before. So this is you protecting yourself from this poverty mindset, this lack mindset. Knight of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, and the Six of Wands, which is exactly what I was saying. You mastering these lessons like over time, maybe lifetimes. This is a gift. So the fact that we're here doing this work on ourselves is a gift. It is the gift. And it's also you winning the game in some way. Lots of Pentacle energy. 5 of Pentacles. Clarify the King of Swords. King of Wands. And again, the Knight of Pentacles. So this is the first turn of the distraction. It's that doing energy, like the mastering mind and action. The fire within. So that you're not stagnant in this stuck energy. It's over time. Again, the same cards. Victory. Learning the lessons. It's a gift. Clarify this Ace of Cups. The Sun. Yes. Okay. And the Ace of Cups again. So, oh my goodness. So this is the habit, the pattern. So you're shining lights on what is, so this is also inner child energy, like the child energy. It's also like the warmth of the sun exposing what is love. It's also exposing self, like these naked babies. So 3 of Wands, the Ace of Cups, 3 of Wands, the Fool, and the Knight of Wands, 9 of Wands. So I'm seeing this as self-love. The understanding of self-love, right? The 3 of Wands. The expectation of love. Some sort of exposure. You pioneering and being in this risk-taking energy of like being willing to go out on a limb. Being willing to sacrifice. Being the wounded warrior, leaving out in the cold. This is like the higher standards, the 3 of Wands. This actual love, but also you giving that. And that's the lesson. That's you pilgrimaging. I don't know how to say it. Being the pilgrim. Understanding the value of love as well behind the 9 of Wands. So, and dropping burdens, 10 of Wands. So this is the pattern. Also, the dead end is not doing that, right? Not choosing self, because that's meant to keep you stagnant when you don't. It's the exposure of, needing to walk away from things that limit you and your personal power, because you're not meant to struggle your whole life. Like, you're not meant to. I don't think we're meant to have hard lives. Maybe some, I don't know. But it's all about choices and choosing love over, I don't know. Page of Pentacles. Clarify the Page of Pentacles. The truth, the core, and the thread. I feel like the Page of Pentacles being the thread here is like what attaches everything to everything else. You know, the lessons, right? Two of Cups. Yeah, this is like the, okay, so the Two of Cups being here is about the duality and the unity within, like, so within all of us, like how we're all connected. That, I don't know, but there's also a need to see like the power to take command of. So that's what we're meant to do, I think, is to take command of our lives and actually do the integration here, the introspection. There's also something here about meditation. Maybe meditation helps. Yeah, meditation helps to understand how to maybe take command in the situation, but also introspection in some way. There's also, like, there's two energies here with the Two of Swords. It's that blocking out things that don't serve in the integration, but also understanding yourself, like finding the peace within, protecting that peace within with the Queen of Wands, you know, integrating maybe finding your passions as well. The truth. And the core. So the heart energy. But I feel like that the desires, right? Okay, yeah. So this is kind of funny. I think that we're meant to like have experienced pleasure here. Like we can't do that in a spirit realm, right? So we come here because it's fun, because we get to experience life, because we get to, you know, experience feelings and things like that, where we have these physical bodies and we get to kind of do the things that we can't do in the spirit, right? So enjoying that, finding it's like experiencing pleasure, like in some way. So it's also, that is part of like the game of life, right? And that's at the center, like, that's at the core of this experience. So being pretty, or like being, you know, that smegdual energy, you know, like even this. So yeah, because in the spirit we're blocked from that. We can't have that. So that's why we do this over and over and over again. But also because we're raising the vibration. I don't know why. Like this, like, I don't know what the ultimate thing is, other than maybe in the integration and the love. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's it. Like love. I don't know. Clarify the Eight of Pentacles. Excuse me. So the prize, the heart, okay. Okay, we got 3 cards. So this is clarifying the Eight of Pentacles. The Empress, the Knight of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles. And the Knight of Cups. The wisdom, the breakthrough. So this is mastering self. So this is over time, over a long period of time, mastering the earthly realm, manifestations, and creation. I feel like this is your energy. It's also intuition, unity, learning how to do that, how to build that. With a page of, Knight of Cups, Four of Wands, Page of Swords, and the Five of Wands. This is the building up. This is the breakthrough. So, like I said, that energy of like awakening to self, awakening to your true power, that is kind of like the ultimate like feeling, right? The ultimate prize, I guess, maybe in this life. That's the breakthrough. Being able to see that within yourself, maybe seeing that within others as well. So the integration and the exit. The Eight of Swords. Excuse me. So this I'm seeing as unsticking yourself from this mindset of, this is the walking away energy, the awakening to your true power. This of staying stuck, suffocating your future, and suffocating in the lower realms, and in that lower stagnant energy. We awaken to our true selves. Yeah. Queen of Pentacles, Ten of Wands, Three of Wands, and this Three of Swords. This is healing the soul and having some sort of sight of like a new horizon. Maybe this is that awakening to that awakening to your power, right? The Emperor energy, and then bringing in this new beginning. Like where you're actually in your I don't know, maybe we become like the guides, or I don't know, maybe we become dogs. Where I don't know if that would be fun. But or maybe we become birds, I don't know. Anyways, let's get an affirmation. So, the soul's entire existence depends on the certainty that it is enough, being whole. Nothing can exist outside it. Interesting. I am enough. I am destined to succeed. And there is no reason to deprive your body of love, beauty, creativity, and inspiration. And I can live as if I have all the time in the world. Okay. Interesting. Anyways, I hope this helps. I hope this was understandable. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.